If you saw my recent video on upgrading the lights in my garage, then you know I don't own a ladder and had to borrow one from my neighbor. Sorry, Devin, but thank you again. So when I got an email from Wolec a few weeks ago asking me to review one of their ladders in exchange for a free sample, I couldn't say no. As with all of my reviews, nobody's paying me to lie, so I'm able to give you my complete, honest opinion, including the good and the bad. The ladder in question is Wolec's 13.5-foot multi-position ladder, currently listed on Amazon for $159.99. Looking at the price history, this is the highest price in the last 4 months, changing often with a low of about $126. To give you some perspective, Home Depot sells similar ladders in a wide range of prices from just over $100 to about $400, but it does look like they're having a sale right now. This ladder also comes in a 17-foot version, currently listed at $198.99. Amazon says this ladder has a rating of 4.4 out of 5 stars, but looking at the distribution of ratings, I'm not really sure how that adds up. Regardless, the written reviews don't reveal any major issues, and most people seem to think that this is a pretty decent ladder for the price. But who cares about that? You came here to see what I think of this ladder, so let's start with the unboxing. The ladder was actually double boxed and wrapped in plastic like everything else you buy online these days, so it was well protected and I didn't find any damage from shipping. And just to be clear, the Wolec ladder is made in China, but it doesn't say that anywhere on the Amazon listing. The feet look like they make good contact with the ground, and they feel soft enough to provide good grip. Because of its height, this ladder needs a stabilization bar at the bottom to meet ladder safety standards. It attaches with a couple bolts and wing nuts, and only takes a minute or two to install. I'm not a huge fan of wing nuts on something that needs to be firmly attached, so I'll probably replace them with a couple locking nuts in the future. It also came with a set of wheels, so it can be rolled from one spot to another instead of carried, which is a nice touch. They might not be of the highest quality, but if they work, they work.
I think it's just superficial. These wheels aren't going to get very much use anyway.
Unfortunately, the hardware for the wheels didn't come with any washers, so the bolt heads got sucked into the soft feet of the ladder when I tightened the nuts. I took the bolts out and added my own washers to fix the problem. For attaching the accessories, I used two 8mm wrenches. This one's an 8mm ratcheting wrench. You could use a regular socket wrench if you want. It just makes things go faster. And this is the only other 8mm wrench I had on hand. It does not have to be an S wrench. The ladder came with a couple wrenches that will get you by, but they're really thin, and I had my own wrenches, which are a lot easier to use, so I just used those. I think the wheels would roll better if I could get them perfectly aligned with each other, but I actually worked on that for a while and this was the best I could do. Those wheels roll surprisingly unsmoothly, but it's better than nothing. The stabilization bar actually feels pretty sturdy. I've used ladders that don't have anything like this, and it can be a little scary. Seems to work pretty good. It didn't come with an owner's manual or anything, but we've got some instructions on the side. Well, instructions. The first one is, do not exceed that angle, whatever that angle is. I can't tell, it's pixelated. Max, one person. You can hang a hammock from it? I don't know, what is that? Do not lean it against a pole. What does that mean?
Maybe it means if you're gonna mount a log to it, put it on the underside, not on the top side. I'm not sure. Leave a comment if you think you know what that one means. Do not step off of the ladder in that direction. Do not, 2, 1, 1, 2, check 1, 2. That probably means don't climb so high that you can't hold on to the ladder anymore. Well, I can tell what that one means. Don't lean off the edge. Watch out for power lines when you're carrying it around. That's good advice. Don't use it as a bridge. Okay, don't use it on soft ground. Don't use it on slippery surfaces. One person at a time. I think we already covered that. Do not, don't stand on the top. Always face the ladder when you're using it. Wear a hard hat when you're on a construction site, I think. Don't wear a hard hat at home, I guess. Max weight, 150 kilograms. Now, does that mean you need to extend it 1 meter above what you're climbing, or that you can extend it 1 meter above what you're climbing? I'm not sure. What does that mean? What is that? The ladder has feet. You can see them with a magnifying glass. Doesn't that mean read the instruction manual? There is no instruction manual. Okay, so here are the actual written instructions. General instructions on the back of the ladder brochure. What? Read the instructions carefully. This should be good. Always inspect the ladder before each use. Very important. Always use the ladder on flat, horizontal, firm, and non-slip surfaces. In sticker, a single section, the release levers of the hinges must be placed towards the user's ascent position, leaving the last 5 steps unused. In maximum length, we recommend a maximum load of 100 kilograms. Up above it said 150 kilograms, so we'll go with 100, I guess. In scissors, the ladder must be completely open up to its hinge stop, and the last 2 steps must not be used. I think in scissors means when it's in the A-frame position or not fully extended. What do you think? Then we got A. Never use a ladder that is damaged, bent, or broken in any of its elements. Do not make repairs to damaged parts. They're missing the period on the last sentence there. B. Make sure the rivets are tight. I don't need to be critical of the grammar here, do I? C. Go down or up facing the ladder and wear suitable ladder shoes. C. Go down or up facing the ladder and wear suitable ladder shoes. D. Make sure the ladder is the right one for the job to be done. This ladder has to be the right one for the job. It's multi-purpose. E. The user's body must be centered between the stringers of the ladder. When we begin our work, both feet must be on the same step, or we must hold onto the ladder with one hand. If this is not possible, additional security measures must be taken. Keep the ladder clean, free of grease, oil, mud, wet paint, or slippery materials. G. Metal conducts electricity. Avoid touching electrical wires. Conservation. Store the ladder in a dry and safe place. Keep the ladder firmly attached when moving or storing it. Do not place items on it. Keep the ladder clean, free of grease, oil, mud, wet paint, or slippery materials. Sounds good to me. Certified in EN 1311234. I'm going to look that up.
EN 131 appears to be a standard for ladder design and safety testing in the UK. I didn't find anything about EN 1311234.
There it is again. Lightweight and versatile. On the other side, we have lightweight and versatile, locked, a diagram of the locking mechanism. That's interesting. 2. Oh, number 1 is locked. I see. That's what the hinges look like when they're locked. Gotcha. And then 2, release hinges. Raising the levers, the closing bolts are actuated from the locked green to the unlocked red position. Okay, this ladder doesn't actually have any red and green marks, but it does have an L and an O. That must be locked, and then that must be not. 3, change of position. Once the hinge is unlocked, place it in working position. For position of hooks, match the 4 hooks of the outer module with the holes of the inner module of the ladder. Insert the hooks fully. And that's when they're open and when they're locked in place. To adjust heights, do not insert your hands between the rungs and the joints. Before using the ladder, make sure that the 2 hinge latches are in the locked position, green, and that the 4 height adjustment hooks are fully inserted. Lightweight and versatile.
And it actually is pretty lightweight. The Amazon listing says this ladder weighs 30.5 pounds, but mine weighed in at 26.28 pounds with the accessories attached. So basically, anytime you want to change the angle of the ladder, all you have to do is pull each of the black levers until they click, then make your adjustment. To raise or lower the ladder, just pull the locking lugs out and to the side, make the adjustment, and put the locking lugs back in. They're spring-loaded and they fit into the rungs of the ladder, so it's very easy to identify when the ladder is secure and ready to use. I decided to take the ladder outside and try it out, but I ran into a small issue wheeling it through the house. This really isn't a huge problem, but it's too bad they couldn't have made it just a little narrower so it could fit through a standard doorway.
It doesn't fit, Biscuit. What are we gonna do?
One thing I needed to do was climb up and change the direction of this ceiling fan, so I put the ladder into maximum scissor mode. I will say that was quite easy and convenient, but the next test made me a little nervous. I extended the ladder to its maximum height in the fully extended position to see if I could reach the gutters on our house. I could really feel the ladder bending beneath me, and it was pretty unsettling.
I'm not gonna lie, that's at full extension and I'm at the weight capacity, and that felt pretty sketchy. I don't think I would do that again.
The Amazon listing says this ladder has a weight capacity of 330 pounds or 150 kilograms, but that's gotta be with the ladder in the folded position. The second weight capacity we saw printed on the ladder of 100 kilograms or about 220 pounds must be for the fully extended position. They should really be more clear about that. Let's go back to the garage and take a closer look at this thing.
So when you extend the ladder, this is the lower set of rungs, and only the very top rung is welded like this. It also has these welds that you can see the back side of. And then all the other rungs are like this with the side welds and then a rivet. I don't know why they did them differently. The welds actually look pretty decent. I mean, aluminum is hard to weld, so that, if anything, that weld looks a little cold, but it's melted into both parts of the metal from what I can tell, so it should be fine. This one on the other end looks better. Yeah, I like that one better. Here are the welds on the other side of the ladder. That one looks fine. And you can tell this one definitely melted into the metal of the ladder. That one definitely melted in. I'm no weld inspector, but I did take a welding class in college, and I follow a welding group on Facebook. And I'd say that for aluminum, that weld is okay. I'd say all these welds are okay. The inner rungs actually go all the way through the ladder and look like they'll be a lot stronger.
The Amazon listing says this ladder is made of aviation aluminum alloy, which my research shows is a super high-strength deformation aluminum alloy, which is widely used in the aviation industry. Compared with ordinary aluminum alloys used in aircraft have higher requirements on strength, hardness, toughness, fatigue resistance, and plasticity. I couldn't find a way to verify if that's really the type of metal they used, so we'll just have to take their word for it. Here's a bit more that Wolec has to say about this ladder. Amazing Wolec. 20 plus year offline supply B2B. What? 40 plus million keep your family safe. Interesting. 30 plus countries use and supply ladder. If I'm reading this right, it sounds like they've sold over 40 million of these ladders, but if that's true, then why does the Amazon listing only have 36 reviews? So here are my final thoughts. While this ladder may have some minor flaws, it certainly seems good enough to use around the house. I wouldn't recommend testing the weight capacity with the ladder fully extended like I did, but to me, it feels perfectly safe in the folded positions. If I had a job that required me to use a ladder on a regular basis, I'd be happy to pay more for a name brand ladder from a company that can be held legally responsible for my safety in the United States. There are just too many questionable things about this ladder. From the pixelated diagrams,
I can't tell, it's pixelated,
to the inconsistent welds and rivets on the rungs, the low-grade hardware for attaching the accessories, and the amount of flexing with the ladder fully extended. The locking mechanism for the hinges feels like the real strong point of this product. It's crisp and really easy to use. I just feel that for the price, this ladder should be a lot more competitive. But with that said, you won't find a ladder that is both strong and lightweight, so keep that in mind and decide which factor means more to you. Overall, I'm going to give the Wolec 13.5 foot ladder a rating of 3 out of 5 cars. Yep, I'm bringing back the car rating. If you're new here, I mainly make videos on how to fix and upgrade cars and motorcycles, so check those out before you go. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for more of the best DIY videos on the internet. And until next time, just keep throwing money at it. Currently listed on Amazon for $159.99. Currently listed on... The first one was fine.